potentially a competition where we will play. And the music is nice at least. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. One day before Lecce Juventus, a game where Juventus you want or you don't want, we have to win. It is important, and in that game versus Lecce, maybe we might have a little surprise. Maybe the people that we were asking to play yesterday in the video, that you can find of course clicking the link here if you missed it, well, they might start. We're speaking about some young players. We'll speak about it towards the end of the video, but we know it. The season is already a disaster. We lost versus Benfica, what meant elimination of Champions League. So what are the papers doing? They are speaking about the future. When everything is going wrong, when we think already that the season is already over in October, we are thinking about the future. And when we are speaking about rebuilding, because Juventus will have to rebuild, because the results of the last 2 years are pathetic, are embarrassing, what other name than Antonio Conte? Antonio Conte will speak the predicted lineups with some young players. We will reveal them, but also giving an answer about Federico Chiesa. Can he be there? Yes or no? And finally, I will try to explain you a bit about the investigations, about the plusvalenza, about the delayed payment of salary. I will try to go inside and explain you a bit and give you a bit more detail. So if you want to, you can put a maximum of like on that video. You can also subscribe to the channel if you want to. We start immediately with Antonio Conte, because Gazzetta dello Sport with Fabiana Della Valle. Fabiana Della Valle is the one that revealed the name of Vlahovic in January at Juventus. They are putting Antonio Conte in big, in front page of Gazzetta dello Sport with Juve Aria di Conte. Conte is in the air. We know it. A few weeks ago, Antonio Conte, he said, speaking about my name to any other club, but also especially Juventus in that case, is not respecting me as a professional, as a coach of Tottenham, but also not respecting Massimiliano Allegri. Gazzetta dello Sport, of course, they don't care about the asking, the demands of Antonio Conte. They are putting him in big, in front page of Gazzetta dello Sport. We know it. Gazzetta dello Sport, they don't care. We know it. A bit of gossip, it's not bad, but it's true that if we are going inside in that double page of Gazzetta dello Sport, they are explaining why Antonio Conte is a big name for the future of Juventus, and maybe we can give an answer for the people that are asking why is Allegri not sacked yet. Well, I told you, whatever happens, win or don't win, and it looks like we are going to a year again without trophy. This is the feeling that we have at the moment. I said always that I don't believe that Massimiliano Allegri will be the coach of Juventus next year. If he wins, he will leave alone. If he doesn't win, I believe that Juventus can't continue with Allegri. So why are we not waiting with the disaster result that we have at the moment? Eliminated in Champions League, 8 in Serie A at the moment, and so on and so on. So I told you there are two solutions. Or there is a name that we don't know yet, but it could be potentially Deschamps in January after the World Cup, when we know that a lot of coaches will be free again and the market of the coaches will be more important than ever. Or we already have a principle of an agreement with Antonio Conte, for example, or another coach, but in that case Antonio Conte for the next season, because we know it, Antonio Conte, he has a contract with Tottenham until the end of this season, and it looks like at the moment he's refusing to extend. He's saying, let's see what will happen, I don't know. Then a lot of people are telling me, Beppe, but Agnelli and Conte, they don't have a really great relationship. Do you remember in the Juventus Stadium, Coppa Italia versus Inter, where there were some insults toward each other? Meanwhile, and we already said it on the channel, they made peace. They spoke to each other, they saw each other, they had a friendly chat with each other, forgiving one to the other to the first one, and they're thinking about him, the one that has been chosen to rebuild Juventus after the 2 consecutive 7 spots in 2011, launching the new stadium, but also launching a coach without experience. He came from Siena, he came from Atalanta, disaster games, a few games for Antonio Conte. He can be the man of the rebuild. Then we speak about the pros. Antonio Conte, DNA of Juventus, the one that is incarnated a bit that Juventus spirit. We know it, we miss it at the moment, but also some flawless of Antonio Conte that in Europe is not doing that great. But if we are looking at the 4 or 5 last year, well, we can't say that Juventus did a lot better. So is Antonio Conte, yes or no, the right choice? I want to know your ideas, but also, is it Is it worthwhile to take the risk to wait for Antonio Conte remaining with Massimiliano Allegri until the end of the season? I really want to know what you are thinking about it. Antonio Conte is maybe not the only one that might join Juventus, because you are speaking about another name. They are speaking about Giuntoli, the sporting director of Napoli, that did really great, we know it. If you're looking what players he brought in this year for a really cheap price, he can be the name that comes on the bench of Juventus. I don't know if it will happen or not, and if Antonio Conte is plan A, maybe a plan B is another Italian one, a young coach that has to be launched and proven yet on a big bench, and we are speaking about Dionisi Alessio, the trainer of Sassuolo. With Sassuolo, we are also speaking about Fratesi that has been looked and searched by Juventus a few seasons ago. Also last season we were speaking about him. At the end we gave up. He was dreaming about Roma. He had some difficulties in the beginning of the season to accept the fact that he was still at Sassuolo, but he's doing again super great. The moment that mentally he was okay and he forgot about that possible transfer to Roma, he's performing really well. Already 4 goals in Serie A for the player, but Sassuolo, like OneFootball is reporting, they are asking already for 35 million euro. It's even more than what they were asking in the summer, where it was around 25-30. So they are increasing the price for the midfielder that has been sponsored a few months ago by Marchisio Claudio. Guys, speaking about OneFootball and speaking about the digital video moments, you know that I am a big collector. You know it, I collect everything I can related to Juve, the shirts, but also sweaters, training packs, even the shoes ultimately. Well, we know it, OneFootball is a sponsor of Serie A, OneFootball is a sponsor of Juventus, and nobody is getting you closer to Serie A than OneFootball with these digital video moments, because you can go create your wallet with a link into the description and you can collect these magic moments of Serie A, the one of Juventus, and you can own them, you can trade them, you can do whatever you want with it. It's just fantastic. I really like them as a collector. So if one of you are a collector, get a look at it, because it's just fantastic. Link into the description. We continue with Tutto Sport, because I promised you that I wanted to talk to you about the case, the affair, the investigations about Juventus. Tutto Sport is saying Fort Agnelli, because if we are going inside, Gazzetta dello Sport is saying cosa rischia la Juve, what is Juventus risking. Two different versions. What is Juventus risking in Gazzetta, and then Agnelli is saying to Juventus, tranquilli, state sereni, be calm. So we have two different versions. Gazzetta dello Sport is pushing, they love to push. Even before being accused or found guilty, they are already starting with what is Juventus risking, while Tutto Sport is saying attenzione, calma, because yesterday Agnelli, he gathered the 500 employees of Juventus in the restaurant of the Allianz Stadium. He spoke with them, he said tranquilli, we acted with law and we respect with all the laws, we have nothing to fear. Words of Andrea Agnelli. But of course, what are they speaking about? For the people that said, Beppe, we don't know, we don't understand, there are so many voices. Well, there are two different things in one. The first one is plusvalenza, the profit cases of selling players, for example, with much more value than they are worth. They already did the investigation, they already closed it, but they are going back on that. They want to reopen it because they said we are not sure, there is maybe something. We don't know. We were already free of that investigation. They opened it again. And then another one linked to the COVID period, where Juventus asked to their football players to delay some payments of salary, where it was accepted, and so on and so on. But apparently there were some frauds. Apparently this is the accusation. They are saying that there are some frauds because not everything has been reported correctly into the financial books. So they are saying that Juventus manipulated a bit the books to delay some salary, not being really clear, and so on. So two different things that Juventus is accused at the moment. It's not a new case, it's always the same one of the summer of 2021. So every time we are speaking about it, every time they are trying to look something with new things that came up, and so on and so on. So we will have to follow it. Guys, I'm used to it. It's not the first time, so at the moment I'm sleeping tranquilly. But of course, we will have to follow it because the justice has to speak. Angel Di Maria was really pissed off with all the voices that he was reading about him, saying that he wanted to leave already in January, giving up. Well, the title saying fino alla fine. Angel said, it's not my habit to speak and to justify me in front of media, in front of fans, but all these kind of things are lies. guys, the one of Rosario that I wanted to go back, is something that I'm repeating since I'm in Europe in 2007. It's my biggest dream, and I will do it one day. And it's not something new. Don't act as you are shocked. You know it, I always said it, but absolutely not at the moment. I am at Juventus, I'm happy to be there. I'm sad that I couldn't give what I'm worth, but I will be back on the field. I will speak on the field with Juventus, at least until the end of the season. Then the future, we don't know. So at least this one is okay, and that's why I'm happy. I'm happy that he spoke, even if usually he's not doing it. Why? Because a lot of time people are overreacting. I was reading some Juve comments, people from supporters from Juve that were already insulting him under all his posts, while the guy, he said absolutely nothing. Corriere dello Sport is speaking about Roma and Lazio that won yesterday in Europa League. Europa League we have to pay attention to, because that could be potentially a competition where we will play. The music is nice at least. Si riparte da Milik, we have to think about Lecce, of course. We will play versus Lecce tomorrow on Saturday. Vlahovic, not 100% perfect physically, so maybe he might rest and start on the bench. And then who will start? It will be Milik, with probably also Moiskin next to him. Milik that has at the moment the most goal per minute, so he's a guarantee. Then we have to also think who will play next to him, who will play with him. Moiskin, yes, probably, but we are thinking about Iling-Junior. Iling-Junior, and this time not on the left side, but on the right side. It's an idea of Brambilla. I told you that Iling-Junior is a player that is acting and playing on the left side of the field, but this year Brambilla, the coach of the next gen under 23, is using it also on the right side, because it can give multiple solutions. First of all, going and crossing, but also going and trying to score with his left foot. He can be a name. We have also other names that can play. It's Miretti that can be back again from the start versus Lecce, could be an important one. And then I wanted to finish with the congratulations to Juventus women that played versus one of the strongest team in the world. We are speaking about Lyon, that won the last Champions League for women yesterday, 1-1. That means that Juventus in the group, we have now 4 points, and we are second, because Arsenal is first with 6 points. So it will be a really big game versus an Arsenal women that is in top form. Congratulations to the girls that didn't give up in our stadium, because that's where we played. A bit confused today. I spoke really bad, but I don't know. This is what it is. The information, I believe I gave it. Let me know if you understood what I said. Guys, thank you for following the channel. Grazie, forza, Juve.